Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Courageous Curiosity Podcast. We are in episode 5 of season 2, which is hard to believe. It's flying by. This is an awesome episode because we get to talk with some of our students, and you are all the reason that we're here. So we're excited to hear a little bit about your experience here at the district, but also giving you an opportunity to share a little bit about your experience here. So this podcast, obviously, as many of you know that have watched, is about answering questions that pique our interest, thinking about things that maybe we have questions about in our community or in the larger community as well. So I'd like to start by giving each of you an opportunity to just kind of say a little bit about yourselves, introduce you for anyone that's watching. So talk about your grade level, maybe some activities you're involved in, and obviously your name and all of that. So Jennifer, we'll start with you, and we'll kind of go around this way.
Hi, my name's Jennifer Rajesh. I'm a senior at Novi High School. And I guess some things I like to do outside of school are that I run the Girl Scout Code and Interact Club at the high school. I also have a job. I teach kids how to code at the Coder School, and I am the student board representative. So I keep myself busy around the high school, and it's a lot of fun.
You do?
And yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, my name is Cameron. I am a junior in high school. Some activities I enjoy doing in school, I'm part of the, kind of informally part of the BSA club.
Okay.
And then I also am on the Novi swim and dive team as a swimmer, not a diver.
Heights bother you a little bit?
Oh, just a tad.
Yeah, that's funny.
And some things I do outside of school is I also work a job at a senior home, and then I am a very active member at my church.
That's awesome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
hi, I'm Ellyanna Sharrow. I'm in 8th grade at the Novi Middle School. I do musical theater outside of school, and I've been in a ton of musicals, and I'm actually doing one at the Civic Center right now.
Wow, what's the show?
Descendants.
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
Hi, my name is Nailah Nchari, and I'm in 5th grade right now. And some of the activities I do, I used to do the Novi Cheer, and I might do the Bobcats.
Okay.
And I really enjoy doing things like cheer, gymnastics, swimming. I like all those type of stuff.
Love it. Each of you have been able to have some interaction with me. I have these superintendent student advisory teams, I know which many of you are on. I have them at Meadows, I have them at the middle school, I have them at the high school, but really interested to kind of start this conversation. And this is a conversation, so feel free to talk back and forth to each other. Just really kind of feel like you can share what's on your mind. Why do you think that we have created these student advisory teams? And so the second part of that question is, do you feel like students have an opportunity to share their perspective on their school experience? Anybody can take that.
I think it's a good opportunity to see what's going on in the school. Mm-hmm. With our school, it's new, getting to see what's good and bad about having this school and what goes on. Yeah,
and there's a lot of, you mentioned new things at your school. There's also a lot of things that happen when you build a new building that you as a student are experiencing that the adults might not necessarily know about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say that being able to have students that are able to talk to you guys and explain our perspectives of how we feel being in the school and actually coming here for school as opposed to just a job or anything like that. We definitely go through the whole experience that, like you said, adults don't necessarily get to go through. So us being able to provide feedback on our experiences, I think, is a really good idea for you guys to further improve the school, fix things that need to be fixed, or keep things the way they are. So.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really nice, especially with the middle school. That's where a lot of friendships are getting made and a lot of just finding yourself. And so getting a lot of student input is really nice, and I think it's really beneficial for our school, at least, to have students just be able to have a voice in things.
Do you think that, in general, students feel and you can be totally honest on this, of course, I want you to be, but do you feel like students feel like if they have an idea or a concern that they have an outlet to, share that? Do you think that's the average student's experience?
I think that there are a lot of students who have a teacher that they definitely feel comfortable with, that they can go talk to things with. there are definitely some teachers that just aren't very approachable, but there are a lot of really amazing teachers in the Novi School District that are very like approachable, and you feel very comfortable being around.
Yeah. Yeah, we always say that, teachers they play a really important role because they're working so hard on building those relationships with their students. And they're oftentimes that first, front line that students will feel a connection to. So we always say that if students could have one trusted adult in the building, and oftentimes, most of the time, that's a teacher, that they'll be a lot more successful in school because they know that there's somebody that they can trust that looks out for them. And that's something that we really pride ourselves on as a district, and we want to constantly work on those relationships. And I've been amazed by the teachers that build such solid relationships with students, but that is a benefit for all of you as well. So, Jennifer, you're on the student, you're the student board representative, which is a new position that you've started. Tell me tell the audience how you think that position has kind of materialized and developed since you've taken over.
Yeah, so I think definitely with the student board representative, my main goal was to see what's going on in the district and then make connections around the school districts and see what are some things that students have in common, what are some things you might see in one school compared to the other. And I think going to these advisory board meetings has really helped me see that. Because I think one thing is that you go to these advisory boards and you might bring one thing from the middle school, but then you also bring it to the high school, and you see how students have very different or very similar opinions. And I think it's really nice to see that connection because it just kind of brings us all together. If we have the same opinions, this is what makes us Novi students, we all think the same thing, but also what are some things that just as middle school students, we feel we need this, or what do we feel as fifth graders and sixth graders, and then what do we feel as high school students, and just overall what are some things we want in our district, but also what we want in our school. So I think it's really nice to see that connection, and I'm glad that I have this role so I can look at it as a general view,
Sure.
but then also bring it to you adults and hey, here's what I'm seeing from the students, and here are those connections that I'm seeing.
I love that. Yeah, so a long time ago, even when I was growing up, which was a long time ago, there was kind of this, I don't want to say it was a prominent philosophy, but there was definitely a prevailing philosophy that was students should be seen and not heard. It's kind of as a student, you should just sit there, mind your own business, listen to the adults. And of course, there is an element of you have to listen to your, adults and people who are there in charge to support you and all of those things. But do you think that the approach that we're taking as a district, which is decidedly different than that, right? What we're saying is, no, we actually do want to hear from what students have to say. Do you think that has value and a place in combating some of that, maybe antiquated thinking around students should not actually be heard? They should just kind of put their head down and do what they're told, right? I feel like I'm interested to hear from some of you in this conversation about, do you think that this is a valuable endeavor for us to continue to pursue?
Yeah, I do think so because kids not being able to be heard, it doesn't really sound right because there could be problems somewhere and the teachers might not know. And then if they don't have their any opportunity to speak, then they won't be able to know what's going on,
I also think it's really important that you guys are doing this, just because it's really nice to hear that adults are listening to kids now, and it's not the adults who are going to the school, it's the kids, and there are a lot more problems beneath the surface that they don't know about. So it's really nice to have members from the school step in and talk for the kids who can't talk, and I think it's really beneficial.
Yeah, sometimes I think people think that maybe it's just an opportunity when we have a session, that's the only opportunity, but correct me if I'm wrong, but teachers, because I've been in classrooms where I've seen this occur in this district, where teachers are routinely talking to students about how they feel about the different assignments that they're given, or I've even seen whole class do a restorative circle when there was something that happened in the classroom environment, right? There's a lot of this kind of engaging students in the experience they're having with school, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Cameron, you had a little bit of a unique experience. You had the opportunity to speak to the entire district administrative team. you came as a panel of students to speak on a specific topic. Talk a little bit about that experience and, maybe how that experience made you feel as a student, or validated or not, right? I'm interested because you really got to sit in a room with 40 of the district leaders, right?
Right. Yeah. So about, I believe 2 months ago it was, I got invited to go to a panel where, like you mentioned, I got to speak to about 40 district leaders and speak as a student of, student of color at like my experiences at Novi and how long I've been going and what I love about Novi and what things that should be changed about it. And being able to have that opportunity and being able to speak to everybody and like give my not struggles necessarily, but experiences right to the people that directly can fix all of that was very empowering. I think is the right word. I was able to let them know from, like you said, there's things that lie below the surface, things that teachers don't necessarily get to see, and being able to let them all know about things like that. A lot of them were shocked, I want to say. There were a lot of shocked faces in that room, things that they didn't necessarily, I don't know if they didn't know us students necessarily knew, or if it was along the lines of they didn't think we actually cared. But like I said, it's so cool it was really empowering to be able to talk to all of them about that.
Awesome.
And that was a great experience, truly.
And I think sometimes, us as adults, we're kind of going along assuming that we know what some of those underlying issues are, but we actually need to ask the people that are experiencing those, right?
Exactly.
To have that conversation. And I think that was not only enlightening for all of us, it was uplifting to be able to hear, kind of just courageous conversation from students, speaking up to the adults and basically saying, this is our experience. And, everyone's got a unique circumstance and background, but it's great to be able to hear directly on maybe some ways that we can make some course corrections, right? Are there things we can do to make the experience that all of you have just a little bit better? So I'm going to start with a general statement here, and this is going to be kind of high level because people are watching and they're seeing 4 students at different buildings here, and they're going to want to know. So let's talk about the best part of being a student in this school district.
How nice like the whole district is, to be honest, because some schools aren't like schools that the kids have voices, like they can speak, good teachers. Some schools aren't like that, and some schools don't see that everybody's equal. So I think that this is a nice school district because basically everybody's like really nice to each other and they think everybody's equal.
That's awesome.
I think there's so much community here. There's a lot of family. I have so many best friends and people that like I can never get through the school year without.
Do you have a limit on how many best friends you have?
Oh, no.
No, okay.
No,
Lots
no.
of BFFs.
Yes.
Okay.
It is the teachers are amazing. Every year I've always found a teacher that has really helped me and has always made me feel seen, and it's really amazing to have this kind of school district and community to have students feel like they're being seen and heard about.
Love it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I feel like the community for sure, as a part of Novi, like us being able to just see everybody, you got people that go through all different types of things, and being able to all unite together as one school is amazing. Like I love that about Novi, but my favorite part about Novi would be opportunity. I feel
Oh yeah.
Novi has. I've never been to another school district, so I wouldn't really know others, but I do volunteer at like I said, my church, and I met a lot of different kids from different schools. And compared to Novi has always had something that other schools haven't, and that's been amazing to be a student. Being able to have all these opportunities, all these ways to like better yourself and better others while doing that has been amazing. So.
Yeah, I agree. I've been blown away since I've been here, and I've been here less time than all of you. And that has been, to your point, that opportunity that students have, and I just love it. And I think we need to just continue to double down on that and see about what can we do next, right? But I love that answer for sure. Jennifer, what do you think?
Yeah, I think honestly, to voice what everyone's been saying, I think community and opportunities are definitely the highlight of Novi. I would also say diversity as well. I think there's just so many different people, and then you just get like meet all these different people of different backgrounds. And I think it's really nice to see those connections. And again, with opportunities, like there's always something for everybody, regardless of your passions that you have, or even if you don't know what your passions are, you can always find that here at Novi. I know I found my passion for coding.
Yeah.
And now that's what I want to do with my life. So
That's amazing.
yeah, I think there's just so much for everything, and you're always going to find your people no matter what here.
Yeah. And the cool thing that about what you said too is that not only did you find your passion for coding and what you want to do for the rest of your life, you're actually starting to do that now while you're still in high school, which is awesome. Okay, so the flip side of that is if you could change one thing about the school district, what would that be?
I actually don't have anything. I think that the school district is really nice right now, but maybe I feel like Novi Elementary School, I think it should be kindergarten through like 5th grade or something. That's
Okay.
That's something I would change.
Keep one more grade down at the elementary level,
Yeah.
you think? Okay. I mean, it can be a big, significant thing, or it could be like, I wish we had more pizza days. I mean, it could be anything. So, yeah.
I wish that there was more. We had like more inside of what how to deal with anxiety and stress and what to do for your mental health. At the middle school, we have 8:20, academic 20 in the morning, and on Fridays we do like mindfulness lessons. But I don't know. I don't feel like kids really get a grasp from that, and I think I would at least benefit from finding a way to deal with the stress and anxiety of trying to get good grades, stay positive, deal with the friendship issues that are going on. I think, and especially for the kids who can't get therapists or something like that, who are really struggling, it would be, I think, really beneficial for those kids to have an outlet to go to.
Yeah, it's a great point. And, mental health resources and supports has become a huge part of school now, right? Because you guys are dealing with more stressful things, with more expectations and higher stakes and all of these things. So it's a great addition.
Yeah, I was going to say for that, at least when you get to high school, we have advisory. It's similar to 8:20. We have it 2 times a week, and it's like hour-long period. And usually once a week, we will go over things like mental health. And like it changes by week, but there's a whole bunch of issues that students face that they usually will talk about during that hour. So that's, I guess, one more thing to look forward to in high school.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But personally, I don't necessarily have anything I would change. Like me as a person, I'm a very outgoing guy, so I know a lot of the student body. I know a lot of the staff bodies, I think, maybe.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah, so I know like a lot of everybody, and it's cool to be able to connect. And I wish other people would do that, but that's not something I don't think anybody can really change besides that person, So for me, I'd say Novi is pretty solid. There's not much I do.
Sure. That's good.
Yeah, I agree. I think Novi is pretty solid with what we have. Again, there's a lot of mental health resources, and definitely like the people are great here. And I think just one thing, I guess this isn't really a change, but more of like the culture that you see in Novi, especially when you grow up and you become like a junior or senior, is definitely the competition when it comes to like what do you do outside or whether it's your grades and such. Because of college applications, like the whole system's getting harder and harder by the day. And I think definitely just when you grow up and you see that as like a junior and senior, you'll definitely see it a lot more. And it's definitely a little hard because you're doing your best and you do everything that you want that's passionate, but then you see some people, they're like, oh, I'm just doing this for college applications. And it's really hard after college applications because they don't really want to do it anymore because it's like, I don't have a purpose now. So
Yeah, so much is sprinting to that, what do I have to do to get my college application submitted? And then you have, early acceptances from college when you're a senior and you have all those things. And it's a very competitive environment. And so we're not upset about the fact that we have really excellent and students that want to excel and achieve. We want to continue to do that. But we also don't want to lose sight of the fact that your health is very important, more important, right, than just the fact that you scored well on a test or something like that. I am better off because I know the four of you and I get a chance to talk with students like you. You have, the four of you are amazing in your ability to share what's on your mind, articulate your thoughts at a very young age, right? And so as we kind of wrap this up, give your kind of closing statement to the student that would maybe be watching this or that's out there that might say, I don't feel like I have a voice. I don't feel like I have somebody I can talk to. I don't feel like I should share this information, so I'm just going to continue to keep my thoughts to myself. What would you give as advice to somebody that's a student that's your age that would be sitting in that environment? And Jennifer, we'll start with you and we'll go this way and wrap up.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just talk to other people. You know, you have your teachers, you have like adults in the building, and you have your friends as well. I think just you have a lot of people that are willing to listen. So I think it's just getting out of that shell and being like, I know that there's people that will listen to me, so I got to share my voice and say what needs to be said.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd say something similar. Like, people tend to go to their friends before they go to anybody. So as long as you're able to share with somebody, take baby steps. You know, you don't necessarily have to go right to the principal, right to the superintendent when you have an issue, but start necessarily smaller and then work your way up to people like administrators or teachers and like just staff in general. People who do believe that they're like Jennifer said, there's always someone willing to listen to you, always in Novi, and that's something I found out from going here for almost 12 years. So like it's a really good community. You have that community, please use it.
That's great.
I would say you gotta find your people. Your friends will help you with everything. And once you find those people, they'll probably help you and be like, okay, let's find someone. And they probably either have a trusted adult or will help you find a trusted adult. And seriously, again, you got to find your people. I can't stress like how important it is to have a good group of friends, because those are the people that will really help you through everything that you go through in school.
Thank you.
So I think that like going to like a teacher that you trust, like if it's an issue at school, so like trusted adults and people like that. So like let's say my teacher, or let's say my teacher isn't like my trusted adult, but there's a different teacher. You just walk there to go talk to them at a time that you can. But like any trusted adult, and your friends too, like a friend that you really trust to not like tell anybody or something. I think that friends and family.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for being a part of this episode, and I'm excited for people to see it. We are releasing our episodes every 2 weeks on Tuesdays, so stay tuned for that. Thank you again for all four of you for all that you do and for sharing your voices, and everybody stay curious. Thank you.